Okay, chapter 11-5 notes, divide and simplify radicals. Example 1, the square root of 25 over 9. Okay, you can separate that into the square root of 25 divided by the square root of 9. And the square root of 25 is 5, and the square root of 9 is 3. Example 2, the square root of 1 over 16. That's radical 1 divided by radical 16. The square root of 1 is 1, and the square root of 16 is 4. Example 3, radical 18 over 50. Okay, you can reduce this fraction. 2 goes into both. So if I reduce the fraction, I get the square root of 9 over 25. And you can take the square root of 9, and you can take the square root of 25. So the answer is 3/5. Okay, example 4 is the square root of 27 over the square root of 3. Now the square roots are separated, but we can do it as the square root of 27 divided by 3. And that actually divides. The square root of 27 divided by square root of 3 is the square root of 9. And that's just, the square root of 9 is 3. Okay, example 5. We have the square root of 30a to the third divided by the square root of 6a to the second. Okay, you can divide these. 6 goes into 30. 5, and then a to the third, a squared goes into a to the third, a to the 1. And that is it. 6 goes into 35 times, a squared goes into a to the third, a times, so it's radical 5a. That's the answer. Example 6. Okay, these are rationalize the denominator. Okay, you cannot have a square root in the denominator. Okay, so we have a couple of examples here where you have a square root in the denominator. I mean, we can't square root of 2 over square root of 3. 3 doesn't go into 2 evenly. I can't reduce this. So when you rationalize the denominator, what you're going to do is you're going to multiply by whatever the denominator is. So you're going to multiply by radical 3 over radical 3. Okay, what happens then is radical 2 times radical 3 is radical 6, and radical 3 times radical 3 is radical 9, except that the square root of 9 is just 3. So that's our answer, and we cannot divide it because one's in a radical and one is not. So if you noticed, radical 3 times radical 3 gives you regular 3. Example 7. 6 over radical 2. Okay, one's a regular number and one's a radical, so you can't divide them. So to rationalize the denominator, you're going to multiply by radical 2 over radical 2. Okay, and then what that gives us is regular 2 on the bottom, and then on the top it's 6 radical 2. Now you can reduce that fraction because that's a regular 6 over a regular 2. So that would be 3 radical 2.